Hello, beautiful Pisces souls, and welcome to your 2025 tarot forecast, year ahead. So, we're going to be looking at the entire year of 2025 for Pisces. The sign of Pisces, sun, moon, rising, stellium. Even if you're not even really a Pisces, you just like Pisces, like fish and stuff, this is for you. Okay. So these tarot forecasts, they look at like what's going on and like what's predictive, but then also like more reflective or internalized things, like things with your self-esteem and your money and whatever. But usually, like the season will correlate with what's on your mind. So in April, you usually are particularly concerned about the way that you look. Is it because it's spring and there's some type of spring fling dance you're trying to go to? If it's in the season of Taurus, around like May, you could be highly concerned about like your finances, like maybe you spent too much money at that social event. And then, by the season of Gemini, and you could be like talking about the overnight scenario. June, Gemini. Gemini's June, right? Yeah. Cancer is July. Okay. I am the wise, your psychic advisor, Micah, and I know all things about tarot and astrology, just not when Gemini is. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. We're going to ignore the phone call because it's not scheduled. Not scheduled, don't need to answer, right? All throughout my videos, I just put my phone on silent. I'm just getting like messages and phone calls. And I'm like super curious as to who that was. Anyway. So the year ahead, 2025, we are walking away from the lovers. So towards the end of 2024, you might be feeling very sexy and zesty and lusty and caught up in some type of romance, and that might have just like cooled down or evened out. I see that you are around this Capricorn woman. She might be like asking you for money, or she might be giving you money because of something revolving around your father. And this is going around in the month of April. So this is starting in April 2025 because in astrology, that's when 2025 begins. So this is going around in the springtime, around April. There could be a lot of like people asking you for money for whatever reason, something to do with maybe cosmetics or their self-esteem, or you could be like being hounded or harassed by some like Lancome lady. I was gonna say Vancome lady, like from Mad TV, or like what do you call it, Marie Claire? That's food. What do you call those people? They like deliver makeup door to door or something. Mary Kay? Something, you know what I'm talking about. Makeup. Anyway. And then, so the next month, in the month of May, we have the Five of Swords here, which talks about a lot of like deceptive people and people trying to win by deceit. So just know that like, someone could be lying about their finances. They could be on a boat, like on a yacht. That doesn't mean that they own that yacht, and, just life is life. So don't be deceived by that, and don't let that like mess up your finances. In the month of June, or the season of Gemini, we have the Six of Cups, saying that you'll be experiencing a lot of nostalgia. So you could be playing a video game that reminds you of your childhood. You could be reading a book. This, in combination with some of the other cards that I'm seeing here, does talk about your love life or your life in general being affected or impacted by children. Whether if it's like a need to connect with your own inner child, or literal physical children around in your immediate environment. I see that you could have a lot of like burning passion and feelings for a Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is I always feel like it's a Sagittarius, but it could also be a Leo or Aries. That might be very close to your mother or your mother's side of the family, or might resemble people of your mother's side of the family. So, like, if you come from between two different, like, religion, races, or creeds, like your father is Jewish and your mother is Catholic, this person could be involved in Catholicism. Your biggest obstacle throughout 2025, Pisces, on this part of your journey is the Three of Wands, which is like wedge politics. You might be, you might be in the middle of something where you're best friends with somebody who's from North and South Korea. You could be friends with someone who's like Scottish and a friend who's Irish, a friend that's Palestinian and a friend that's Israeli. And it's sort of like an obstacle in your life this year. And what's going to help you is the Sun card. And so the Sun card is really funny, especially in the sense of doing a Pisces reading, because you could see this. Like, I was doing a reading for someone who was a Pisces several years ago, and they were a Pisces, and what was going to help them was the Sun card. And I was like, oh, you're going to be happy. You might have a new child. This is another card that talks about your life being impacted by children. They might like pull down at your curtains or your blinds or something for whatever reason. But I was thinking to myself, you might be doing a reading for someone and they're a Scorpio and they get the Eight of Cups. And you're like, oh, like addiction, bad, like walking down alleyways and sad. And they're like, oh, I love that. You know what I mean? So to see the Sun card in the September position and the Virgo placement, what's going to help you and heal you is like spending more time in the sunlight, maybe around like children or younger people to keep you young and youthful. But to a Pisces, it may not feel good. And the sun might be too bright. It might be too hot. You might feel like exhausted. You know what I mean? Whereas the Moon card might be a more auspicious card to see for Pisces. But it'll bring a lot of healing. So I don't know, you might like work at a daycare, or where you work might feel like a daycare. Someone might be in need of childcare at your job. What's coming up is the Two of Wands reversed. So, you might just be like getting over a breakup. There's like all this energy of like breakup energy. You might be getting over a breakup. Someone around you might be getting over a breakup. You might be heading towards breaking up with somebody that you've been friends with since childhood. Yeah, okay. And then so what your want or desires are the Eight of Cups reversed. So you might have been in some like addictive state or in a rut, and you want to escape that, which is good. This is happening in the month of November. So like I said in some previous readings about Pisces, a lot of Pisces tend to have a lot of strong connections to other water signs like Scorpio. So like I was saying, you might get the Sun card and you're like, that's the last thing I want, is a bunch of like, bright blaring sun and screaming children around me every day. I'd rather have the Moon and the Eight of Cups and just be like drinking and hanging out. But there might be something wrong with that philosophy. As in the month of December, we have the Knight of Swords. So there's an Aquarius person who's like looking back at you in anger, which is like some Oasis song, which is how I've come to describe the Knight of Swords. So they might be like English or something. There might be some like, been a lot of chatter about like Scotland and England and Ireland in this reading. They might have like some type of like religious difference or political difference, and might have something to do with the Queen of England. I see that in your destiny, in your career path, and how your journey is going overall. Your reputation is the Four of Cups. So as I just ignored a phone call, you might be someone who is known for like ignoring messages. I see that what your vibration is, or what your vibration should be or could be, to help you maybe disconnect from these partnerships that you formed in the past with potentially an Aries or a Gemini that aren't benefiting you, is unblocking them. So there might be a lot of people who are like very attached to you just because they can't get to you and they're in no contact, and it just makes them panic because of their attachment style. And then I think like maybe like giving them some type of contact might help them stop being so worried or obsessed with you. And in the 12th house, so in the 12th house in the month of Pisces, in the month of March, in the season of Pisces, in the month of March, we have the Death card reversed. Which, I don't know, it's like always this reminder to me that whether if you believe astrology is a 12 sign system, a sidereal system, or a 13 sign system, that actually would make Pisces the 13th sign and one of the most powerful signs of the zodiac, just once again. And I think I was just doing a previous reading where I was like, people have to internalize that the Hangman is a Pisces card. So this is also internalizing that the Death card is not only a Scorpio card, it's not only an Orpheus card. I think of Orpheus as the Hermit actually. So there's that. But so this is also, so the Death card reversed in the 12th house says like secretly like things aren't going to change for a while. You might be caught in like a 7 year or 6 or 7 year cycle of things like not necessarily changing, and that might feel like stagnant and a rut and awful. But we also at the center of this reading have the Six of Wands. So sometimes it's like your reputation or what will push you to fame and stardom, and not even necessarily fame and stardom, but like acclaim for your reputation, not necessarily amongst the public forum or people, but for yourself, is just having done something for so long. You know, you might have been like sick with the disease for a very long time, and your claim to fame becomes how you have survived and overcome that for whatever time period, living in a certain place, working at a certain job that might have made you miserable, and then they're like, well, you've been a secretary for 13 years, like, whatever. And I see that the energy that you're heading towards is the Page of Cups. So running into the arms of a water sign friend or a fellow Pisces. Maybe even being allowed to be clumsy because you're so cute and young. Okay, so that's what I see for Pisces in the year of 2025. This is what you can expect in the year ahead tarot, personalized year ahead tarot forecast. I will go through these things, and like the thing is, like, so if we were doing this reading as a personalized reading, you would also be able to explore further, like, who is this reversed Queen of Pentacles asking you for money? Is the sun good or bad? How can I stop ignoring people and stop ignoring my calling and my destiny? How can I avoid this breakup energy if I'm in a relationship and I'd like to stay in it, and things like that? And this reading will usually tell me stuff like that. How I feel about my self-esteem, your money, your vibration, your manifestations. And based off of this, I would say, like, once again, like lighting 2 candles, maybe even 6, could be very good and healthy and healing for you. And that's what I see. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching, subscribing, liking, and sharing with your friends. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.